Okay guys, welcome to the channel. Please, if you will, like, subscribe and share. We want to get the numbers up. We've got them up to 19. We've had a couple of subscribers since. We got a doozy this time. It's a pretty sad story really, when you think about it. Very attractive woman, in really good condition, fitness person, been married 20 years, got out of the marriage for whatever reason. I don't advise anybody to leave their marriage. Do everything you can to keep that fire burning. But I'm going to run you through some different parts of this story. You're going to have to bear with me, guys, because I've put a bit of work into this to get to the bottom of what's actually happened to this person. Holly, I think her name is, ex-Christian minister. She's got a bit of a story on all that. Married for quite some time, children. They get dragged through all this, which is the sad part, but we're going to go into it now, and bear with me guys, there's a bit of work to be done with this, but yous are really going to get a lot out of this.
I'm going on a date with my boo, QT. I have to take my boys and drop them off at football practice, and I have to wait there for 2 hours because...
Now this is one of the things that you're signing up for when you get in with single mothers. You're second on the list. The kids come first, you've got to accept that. Very rarely will they put you before the children, but this is what happens. Old Boo, or whatever, we're going to meet Boo in a minute. He's just going to have to wait till Mum's finished with the kids.
Because it's 30 minutes away. So anyway, the Boo's meeting me for dinner. So y'all have been telling me you love the natural look, no makeup. So okay, I'm not wearing any foundation or anything tonight, or any eyeshadow.
Yeah, she looks all right without the foundation and that, but we're going to jump forward now and we're going to meet Boo. Okay, guys, so let's meet Boo.
So tonight, my Boo and I, after I put my pajamas on, I had to go to the gas station. We came to a gravesite where his brother's buried. And you guys, look at this beautiful sunset.
So they're on a date at the cemetery where Boo's brother's buried. That's a great place to take Sheila out for a date, the cemetery, isn't it?
The photo, it doesn't even do it justice.
I'll tell you something, guys. These Sheilas don't care. They don't care. They really don't care at the end of the day where you take them, if you're doing the right thing by them. And Boo was taking the Sheila to the cemetery to his brother's burial place.
Justice, does it, baby?
It don't.
Come here, you get in here.
Okay, so here's Boo, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Boo. There he is. Now, she is hot, right? She's hot. Poor old Boo. He's done some miles. This goes to show you, guys, let me say something to you. Don't underestimate your ability to get hot women. Right? Don't underestimate yourself. Old Boo's lobbed up here. Wait till you hear the Boo story at the end of this.
Yeah, we were just talking about the first night we met, or the first time we met, and how he was too nervous to ask me out.
So Boo's a bit of a simp. I'm sorry, Boo. I really don't give a shit what you say. Boo's a bit of a simp. She's the masculine one in this relationship. Boo's just along for the ride.
And why were you too nervous?
It's so beautiful.
Bang! You're so... Never. Don't pedestalize your woman. Compliment, but don't pedestalize. What he's saying is your beauty is stronger than my emotional masculine frame.
There's a lot of reasons.
See, now they'll eat all this up. She'll eat all that up and take it on board. But look at her face. Just there. And look at Boo. Boo's just in for the ride, guys.
Am I beautiful when I do this?
Oh, look at Boo.
Are you so glad that I came up to you at the pool and introduced myself again to you?
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Because he asked me out right away.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I was
had
like,
to.
yeah, you did. Yeah,
I bet he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Boo knew what he was
and
doing.
Now we're standing in a graveyard.
Wow.
Well, that could be very prophetic,
With a
couldn't
beautiful
it?
sunset.
And don't worry, these Sheilas are affectionate, guys. That's what they want, and Boo's not holding back there. That sunset in the graveyard, it's all prophetic, boys. It's all prophetic. And this is what you've got to take into account. This woman now is on the carousel. This is a classic example of a woman on the carousel. She got out of the marriage, apparently it was abusive or something's happened there. She's had a few boyfriends before this bloke, and this is the journey of a woman on the carousel. Don't worry, they're affectionate with whoever's there at the time. Don't kid yourself, boys. Now, Boo is about to go simp 100%. You do not do this with a woman. Watch what happens here, guys. Do not do this. Look at Boo and look at her. No comparison. Take this into account.
They want to know if when I told you I loved you, did you tell me that you loved me back?
I sure did.
I bet he fucking did, but did he mean it? I bet Boo did, but did Boo mean it? Well, gosh, guys. Oh, mate, honestly. Boo would be one of the best players I've ever seen.
So why you love me, Boo?
Because you're sweet inside and out.
I got you fooled.
Oh, what?
See, as long as he's feeding her ego, she's cool with that. But I tell you what, Boo's done well for himself. Give him that.
It's beautiful. You're a loving woman.
Loving woman.
Loving. A little bit of gangster, a little bit.
I'm a little gangster.
She's a little bit
We like
gangster.
that. We talked that night about all the reasons that we do love each other and what red flags do we have and what are we concerned about and what scares us in relationships and what brings us in anxiety in relationships. So we did have a great conversation and we communicate very well together. But there are so many of you who are like, do not get married and right away. Do not move in right away. Don't get engaged right away. Don't do all of this stuff. Oh my gosh, you're still in the honeymoon stage. I know we're in the honeymoon stage and it's rainbows and butterflies and I'm reveling in it and I'm enjoying it. I'm not.
Well, is it a honeymoon stage? It's called limerence. Now, limerence is the dopamine you get when you meet somebody for the first time and you're in the relationship with them, and you think it's love, but it's not. It's a physiological response to a new partnership called limerence, and it does die out. And not many people know about limerence, as a matter of fact, but it's a real thing. It's a real. Let's just do something quick while we're here. Limerence. Just so you know, not many people know about limerence. What is limerence? Limerence is a state of infatuation or obsession with another person that involves an all-consuming passion and intrusive thoughts. It's often a result of not being present either through trauma or certain childhood development issues. But it's also the state that you go through when you meet somebody for the first time. That's limerence. We'll move on to the next segment of this video. So you've had a bit of the journey, guys. Now let's see what the carousel does to these women.
Just remember, if he wanted to, he would. He would call. He would tell her to leave. He would make you a priority. He doesn't want to do that. Well, guess what I found out today?
Drum roll, guys. Guess what I found out today? It doesn't look good and it doesn't sound good, does it?
Besides the fact that I'm developing some kind of chest and sinus cold.
And just let me say, guys, when you're under stress, that's when you get sick.
I called the clerk of courts and found out about their divorce.
Now, this is obviously Boo's divorce with his missus. Obviously, she's come into a place of suspicion. And she's done a bit of homework. And it doesn't look good, does it, guys?
which hasn't happened. No. She filed for divorce on July 6th, the day that he actually met me at QT.
And just remember, man, she pursued him. She spotted Boo, and she went after Boo as hard as she could.
Ironically. And their court date is in September. So, yeah, they're separated, technically, I guess. But they're not divorced. Now, I'm the type of girl that likes closure. Like, I don't want to be waiting around for when he calls so that I can tell him what's on my mind and how I feel. I want to tell him how I feel.
Welcome to the cock carousel. This is what happens to them, boys. You bet. There's kids involved in this. They've been exposed to this bloke. You know, this is what's happening all over the place, and it's not healthy for anyone.
So I went to his house today, and he wasn't there. And I texted multiple times, called multiple times. He didn't respond. I just want a face-to-face conversation to just say, listen, dude, you're married.
We've gone from boo to dude.
So you go be with her. I'm out.
Now he can't go be with her. She's divorcing him. She should just say, I'm out.
We're done. Thanks for the good 2 months and for giving me some hope in men again.
2 months.
Well, also,
If that's given her hope in men, mate, she is desperate.
not. But have a great life. I just like that closure. But he wasn't there. First time I've heard him in 24 hours. He finally responded to my text and said he'll come over tonight and we can talk. So I'll let you all know how it goes.
Not a good... See, this is what the carousel's like outside. This is the grass is not greener on the other side, guys. The grass is not greener on the other side for anybody, for them or for us. That's why if you've had a marriage, the best thing is to try and work through it. And if you can't, this is what you're in for. Okay, guys, so let's go to the other side.
But let's get ready and talk about it. Let me just tell you how I feel. How I feel is heartbroken. I just keep picturing the way he looked at me and smiled and always told me I was beautiful and was so kind to me. He was so kind. And
you got to realise this Sheila kicked this guy to the curb because he wasn't divorced, and he said that he was.
I miss his presence. He was such a calming, safe, gentle, easy presence.
But that wasn't good enough, guys. Okay, that wasn't good enough. He was heading for divorce, and she just didn't give it time to go through. She kicked him to the curb.
But here's my gut on what went down. I think he and I did fall in love. I don't think he's a narcissist like a lot of you have said. He's a very, very...
Now, there's a good clue. See, as soon as something goes wrong in a relationship, women will, as a way of justifying whatever's happened, label the guy a narcissist. Now, this woman's got the integrity and foresight and intuition to go, no, no, no. This guy wasn't a narcissist, but he had other issues that had nothing to do with that just weren't good enough for her to lower her standards to, even though she'd already been ran through for 2 months by this guy.
Kind person and very unselfish for the most part. But what I think happened is, I think he fell in love with me, and he just is a people pleaser and tries to please everyone.
And there you go. There you go, guys. That's the big key to not being a bad boy. Bad boys aren't people pleasers, okay? Do not be a people pleaser. they get bored, and if they can find a way out, they will. And she has. I've had women stay with me during divorce. They haven't kicked me to the curb. They've kept, holding their place. But not this Sheila. He was a people pleaser, guys, and it was boring for her. She got what she wanted, and it was time for him to go.
And has a hard time saying no to people. And got confused on what the right thing to do with his kids were. I know he's been exhausted for taking care of them all alone for 2 years, and I know that he would love for their mom to be back in their life, and that would give him a little bit of a break and be helpful. But he's just really confused. Now, I told him in the beginning of our relationship and throughout our relationship that if things go sour, how I like to work things through in relationships is to solve the problem together and not one against the other. And I think
but that was an unsolvable problem, wasn't it, guys? He should have just said, look, I'm going through a divorce. It's going to take such and such an amount of time, and see if she rocked on with that. But he lied.
He is trying to solve this problem on his own and pushed me away to try and solve this problem on his own. And if he only knew that it would work so much better if he would just work with me on it, we could have still been together.
And how's that? Boys, did you hear that? Be honest. Just be honest, okay? And you won't get kicked to the curb.
I don't think he was cheating on me or her. I don't think that he's been lying. I don't think that he was hiding things. I think that he just...
Yeah, he was hiding things. Come on, she's getting confused now. He was hiding the fact that he was going through a divorce. He told her he was already divorced.
All of a sudden, she came back in their life, and he got crazy overwhelmed and confused, and I was the one that he let go.
So hang on a sec, guys. Hang on a sec. I'm a little bit confused because she said that she kicked him to the curb because he lied to her about being divorced. Now she's saying that he's the one that disappeared. Let's just play that again. I don't get that.
He got crazy overwhelmed and confused, and I was the one that he let go.
No, she let him go. Okay, so now you're looking at incredible confusion. She's had too many blokes, this Sheila. And she's lost some kind of moral calibration because she kicked him to the curb, and now she's saying he let her go. No.
Could I get back with him? I don't see how. I'm not a second priority.
So what the tale to this is for Boo is that what could Boo do? He wasn't living with the other woman or something, was he? Like, what's going on here? This woman definitely wasn't going to tolerate him being connected to somebody else. So you need to take this in mind, because a lot of guys will say that women like men that cheat. That's not completely true, guys. That's not true. Some women will kick you to the curb, man, as soon as you start playing around with other women. Don't believe that for 1 minute, especially a woman of this caliber. And we'll just go to the last part. And guys, you really need to learn from this. Boo's gone. He's been kicked to the curb. We're not far down the track after that. And guess what happens? These Sheilas have got orbiters. They're orbiting all around. Watch this, guys.
I am on the road to Richmond, Virginia.
RVA.
With my ex.
Who's eating on a horse?
Darren.
I got my mom.
So she's with the XX, and he don't give a shit because he's going to get some pussy. He ain't going to commit to anything, but he's back in for the ride, guys. And here we have an orbiter. She's just monkey branch back on double X, 2X's back. She's taking whatever she can get. And man, they rock on. These Sheilas are hard, man.
You got your mouth full?
Jerky.
That's best. He's eating jerky.
And he's going to have his mouth full, all right, and it's not going to be beef jerky either.
Which makes sense. Here's the thing about Darren. He is my ex-boyfriend.
Dick. Here's the thing about Darren. TikTokers hate him.
TikTokers hate him. He may not have been the best boyfriend. What? But
And that doesn't matter. Can you see that? It's not about being good and bad. It's about what they want. Guys, you've got to get this. Forget about trying to be good. That just, in terms of being weak, be good in your masculine frame and have your standards as well. But look at this. She's straight back to the ex, man. She's going to get porked big time by this bloke. She don't care.
he's a great road trip partner. We sing and dance, and he buys me whatever I want. This is what
I
he
bet he
just got me.
does.
Reese cup, and this is the bomb. This is the best of all the Reese's. The one that's got the Reese Pieces inside the Reese cups, friend.
So Holly is an incredible road trip partner.
Oh no. So here we go. We're going to stroke each other's egos until we hate each other. And this is what happens, guys. Stroking egos is not a good thing. But he's going to stroke her ego for as long as he can hold her, and he'll get pissed off. She'll get pissed off, and they're back on their own again.
She's got to fucking pee every 2 to 3 minutes.
Not 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, 20 to 30 miles.
Once an hour. And it's great that I'm staying hydrated. Don't come at me in my
Don't come
bladder,
at me.
boo.
Fucking badass road tripper.
Why?
Good playlist, funny as hell.
Funny as hell.
Hot as
What's
fuck.
he trying to do? Advertise it for the next bloke, I'd say. He doesn't care less. Look.
You know?
Yeah.
This is a really great time.
Yeah.
This drive sucks. So when you're having fun, it goes by a lot better. Because it's an absolute terrible drive.
I'm going to be at the Virginia State Fair tonight. We're probably going to get there around like 5 or 6.
And there's an 18-piece jazz ensemble out of DC.
But I'm going with his dad, dude. I'm so excited.
I can stay home and you two go.
That's exactly.
So there you go, boys. The point of this is they just keep bouncing, man. It's no point you going into depression or worrying too much about what they're going to do next or all of this, man. You got nothing. They're going to do what they're going to do. And they're just going to rock on. I tell you, women have the most fucking strongest survival instincts of anything on the planet. And they just get over things so quick. Really, really quick. While you're getting ready to slit your wrist, she's on a road trip with another bloke. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay? This is massive, guys. Now, as we close, we send prayers to this woman because she seems like a really nice woman, but she doesn't know how to pick good men, unfortunately. And she's settling for exes and divorced blokes, and she wants to Chad Tyrone. She's a very sexual woman, as they all are. But guys, I just want to say we need to have more substance when we come into these relationships with these people. We need to be able to turn up the best version of ourselves, integrally, morally, spiritually, physically, so that we can make the best possible impression that we can, so that we don't get put into a situation where we're kicked at the curb. Now, this is the last part to this. She's gone through Boo. She went back to the 2 exes back to Darren, and now this is where she's ended up. This is what happens on the carousel, guys.
It's New Year's Eve day, and I had big plans to go out with my boyfriend tonight, but we broke up right before Christmas and me leaving to visit my family from Maryland, which is why he wasn't there. He said something very mean again, something that we had broken up for before about, and he promised me he would never say it again, but he did, and it broke my heart. I had to tell him that he couldn't come to Christmas with us, and I broke up with him. I had to tell my kids why, and they were angry at him too.
Now, let me just tell you something, boys. You never involve your children in adult affairs. Never, ever, ever involve your children in adult affairs. It's not their business. It's not healthy for them. And there needs to be boundaries around your private relationships with these people. Do not involve your children in adult affairs, because as they get older, they'll start sticking their nose in where it don't belong. It's going to cause conflict and trouble. And it's just not healthy for them, guys. They're not meant to be in adult business. Now, this guy's hung himself. He was told not to do something and he's done it. I don't know why. She's a very happy style of a woman. I'm sure she's got a bit of a rough side to her, but right on New Year's Day, let's see what happens,
For
guys.
a few days, I stayed strong. But then he kept calling and texting and apologizing, and I got weak. And once again, I started accepting his apologies. And I wanted him to come because he was willing to drive and be there with us. But my kids refused. Not only that, but they were angry that I even considered him coming back.
See, so guys, listen to me. She now is being influenced by the kids. Guys, and this is what's going to be your arch enemy with single mums. That's why you're better off not getting involved with single mothers, because the children are going to fuck you over every time. They don't want outsiders that aren't their DNA. They want daddy back. And she's involved the children. She was going to let this dude come back. She was going to forgive him. But the children said no, and guess who won? The children.
And I'm sitting there in Maryland with my mom and my sisters, and the memory comes back to me of the man my mom dated when I was a teenager that I hated. He was physically abusive to her and us, and I moved out. I just remember wishing that my mom had chose us. Now, as an adult and as a single mom, I get that you're so alone and you're so afraid that maybe...
No. They're never alone. Single mothers are never alone. They use their children as surrogate partners. It's called covert emotional incest. They've always got the fallback. Now, within, I don't know, the period of 6 months, this Sheila's been ran through by 2 blokes. She'll have another one just round the corner. This is the carousel, guys. And now we're looking at the other side of it. She's involving her children in a private business. This is what we call a really dysfunctional and unhealthy woman. Her private adult life has nothing to do with her children.
You're never going to find somebody else. And you really want to hold on to that person, but never at the expense of your kids. And I definitely didn't want to do that to them. So I ended it.
It had nothing to do with the kids, guys. It had to do with her and the bloke. But she's using the kids to justify what she's wanted. She's ended it for good with Darren, so she says, but never underestimate these Sheilas. They just leave them all orbiting out there until they want them again. She's already dumped him once and gone back. She'll do it again.
For good with Darren. He's blocked on all levels. My kids will never forgive me if I go back to him.
See, it's not about him or her. It's about the kids now. Guys, I'm telling you, I am telling you, single mothers will fuck you so hard you won't know what day it is. Absolutely nothing to do with the kids.
And honestly, they're right. Am I sad? Yes, I'm fucking sad. He didn't drink again. I know that's what a lot of you are thinking. He was just mean. Unfortunately, we can't remain friends. My children don't want him in my life, period.
Well, you know, if the girlfriend that I got now listened to her drug addict little sons, and I'm going to fucking say it because that's what they are, mummy's boys, grown men, mummy's boys. No, I'm sorry if you see this. She wouldn't be here. But I told her, you involved those fucking 2 in this relationship and you may as well go now. And she's not doing it because their judgments aren't right. What their judgments, 9 times out of 10 are fucking wrong. It was between her and the boyfriend, not her, the children, and the boyfriend. Children ain't going to want a man there that's not DNA, guys.
So the fears that I had to face were, I'm a recovering codependent and I don't like to be alone.
Nobody likes to be alone.
I also learned that my children don't have a problem being mean to me sometimes, but they don't want anyone else being mean to me.
There you go, guys. There you go. The children can do what they like. They can treat me how they want. They can treat me worse than anybody else, but they'll get let off. And mate, I'm telling you, if you're not DNA, you are nothing. You're not. And you've got to be prepared for this sort of crap. You can't beat the children. Look at the grin on its face. Danger with a... See, she's going to get to the point where she's not going to be able to pair bond with anyone because she's going to be looking for the children's fucking permission to do it.
I was given the horrible opportunity to choose my kids over a man, which I know is childhood trauma rearing its head, giving me the opportunity.
She didn't have to choose. Hang on, guys. She didn't have to choose the kids over the man. She had to set up boundaries between herself and the children and herself and the man. This is called covert emotional incest, guys. It's covert emotional incest, allowing young children to be involved in adult business. They got no right to be in that business. And this is something that is a major problem in communities today. These single mothers are using their children as surrogate counsellors and covert partners and all this other stuff, and it's a covert emotional incest, and it's you got no chance against that stuff, guys.
To do what the adults should do and learn my lesson. Okay, I've learned it now. Let's stop doing this. Number 65, Maybelline Superstay. Love this neutral color.
So we're not going to watch this woman groom herself, guys. I'm going to leave it there. It's been long enough, half an hour. If you don't learn anything from this, guys, I really don't know what I'm going to do with this. But this has been a lot of work gone in the background to do this timeline. We do pray for this woman. We're not taking advantage of her or anything. But we can learn a lot from women that are on the carousel. And some women just can't pick the right guys. This is Pro Bricky. Again, subscribe, like, and share this video. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.